Welcome to the Workamper Show, a podcast devoted to helping you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. I'm Steve Anderson, the president of Workamper News. Each one of our episodes will either introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to opportunities to work short-term jobs. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Thanks, Steve. Today we're going to talk with someone who makes money by selling cookware on the road at various events. This episode is sponsored by the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas. The Academy's one-week live training or home study course will teach you everything you need to know to fix about 80% of the problems people experience with their RVs. You can also sign up for additional training to become an RV inspector, campground technician, or to provide mobile RV service. For more information, visit www.nrvta.com. Tim Martin is a sales representative for Kitchen Craft, a company based out of West Bend, Wisconsin that produces cookware of all types and sells it at big events like RV rallies, fairs, and campgrounds. He travels with his wife and 2 daughters doing live cooking shows around the country, demonstrating how people can make meals in their RVs and how Kitchen Craft products can make it easier to do that job. It is unique in that it's waterless cookware that steams food to help maintain more nutritional value. Tim explains what makes the cookware so unique and why people like to buy it. He also outlines ways in which people can make money on the road by doing what he does, demonstrating the products and taking orders. The company provides training to help work campers understand how to use and promote the cookware. He also outlines how much money people can make by selling Kitchen Craft products. Tim also describes the lifestyle his family gets to enjoy while he is out selling cookware. To tell us more about Kitchen Craft, what it has done for his family, and how you can get involved with the company, please welcome Tim Martin to the show. Thanks for joining us today, Tim. I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. I understand that you are a full-time RVer working for Kitchen Craft. Is that right?
Yes, I am, sir. Yeah, I'm a chef out in the field, or a rep out in the field, and I do live cooking shows around the country. And we're a cookware company, obviously. We're based out of West Bend, Wisconsin. Our corporate office is down in Florida, and that's where I'm from. We've been on the road now for a little bit over 3 years, and I did this job for 6 years before that by myself on the road. And I was lonely. I was lonely because I was missing a lot of time with my family. So I was looking for that whole quality versus quantity time. And so my wife and I said, why don't we just jump into RVing, and we'd never, most of the people I meet at these Workamper events, they're all like lifetime RVers. They've had RVs, and they start with a tent, and they work into the pop-up, and they do all this different stuff, and they wind up in an RV. We just jumped full-time into it, and never really liked camping. I like glamping.
We call that camping under 5 stars.
I love that.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Oh,
And so you started glamping, and
yeah.
you have 2 daughters, I understand.
I do. Well, with the Workamper crowd, I always find that the big puzzle piece that you need to fit in there is the financial piece, and that's why most people are here, to figure out how they're going to fund their dream as they travel around the country. That was already in place for me because the career that I have, I go to these live events around the country, and I do a lot of RV shows. I do these happy camper cooking schools at the campgrounds. And I do a lot of coach-to-coach sales as well, too, as we like to call it. What we do is healthy cooking seminars. So we teach people how to cook. We're waterless and greaseless cookware. And if you're not familiar with that, Greg, waterless cookware is basically you put your vegetables in the pot, no water, you put the lid on it, and you cook them without water. And so we cook at a lower temperature, and you save all the nutrients. When you boil your vegetables at 212 degrees, you lose 50 to 85% of the nutrients. Hot water and heat are the 2 main enemies of your vegetables. But steaming takes place at 240 to 260 degrees, and it is healthier to steam than boil. Studies have shown this, but 89% of us Americans oversteam. And if you oversteam by as little as 3 or 4 minutes, you lose 90% of the nutrients. Now, your microwave cooks your vegetables at 700 to 900 degrees. 10 seconds inside the microwave, and you've destroyed all nutritional value.
I had no idea.
Yeah, we're cooking at 180. We cook at a lower temperature, and we maintain 98% of the nutrients and all the flavors there as well, too. And the way we do this is these pots, this cookware that we make, has 7 different layers of metal. So the core is like it's magnetic steel. It's like your iron skillet, and so that holds the heat real well. That also allows you to do induction cooking. And that's the big thing that I get with the RV crowd. Is it induction friendly? Because that's the big wave of the future. Everybody wants to be induction. In my coach, I've got an induction cooktop, and it just works wonderfully. Yes, so that iron core holds the heat. And then wrapped around that, we have 3 layers of aluminum. And aluminum will kill you. You never want to eat directly off of aluminum, but it heats up fast and distributes the heat very evenly. So you need those 2 elements to do the waterless cooking. I do eggs, hard-boiled eggs without water. I cook cakes on top of the stove. So anything you can do in the stove, you can do on the stove, and you can do faster, more efficiently. And the RV crowd loves us because we answer some, there's 3 commodities in an RV. We answer some problems in an RV. One of them is water. If you're boondocking a lot, you need to fill those tanks up, right? So we cook completely without water, so you're not worried about that element. We also cook at a third of the time, a third of the temperature. So you're saving on that propane if you're cooking on gas. And our cookware works on any cook surface, gas, induction, ceramic, even a campfire. I've used mine over an open flame quite often as well too. But space is the biggest commodity in an RV, and all of our stuff, all our cookware actually nests right down.
Oh, that's nice. So
Yep.
they stack into each other?
Yep, they stack into each other, and we have detachable handles for the RV crowd as well too.
Okay.
So, I'm at Workamper now because, I've done some webinars before online, but not in this capacity. We did it remotely with you guys. But the reason I'm here is because we represent the ultimate Workamper opportunity, in my opinion. Because what you do is we supply everything to you. We do these live shows, but we give you everything that you need, all the cookware, all the promotional pieces that you need, the whole booth setup, and it fits really nicely into an RV. I've got a 40-foot Fleetwood Discovery, and I tow a pickup truck behind it. And my whole booth fits in the bed of that pickup truck. And so we've got a big back seat for the kids, so in between shows, we're free to travel around, and the booth lives in the back of the pickup truck. We are looking for RVers because RVers are the nicest people on the planet.
That's
I'm sure
right.
you know that,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're wonderful people. They're giving people. They love to share. They love to talk. And that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for people that are chefs in that sense of the word. I came from a television production background, and most of the people that join our organization come from different varied backgrounds. We get everybody. But we love the RVers the best because they're very social. They love to help people. And that's what we do. We solve problems. Our cookware, whether it's obesity, high blood pressure, you want to lose some weight, hardening of the arteries, whatever it is, your food is that fuel that fixes all those problems. And so we are all about healthy eating, good nutrition, and helping people learn how to do this, not just as a diet. We hate that word diet. This is a lifestyle, and it's a change. It will make you a lot, you'll feel a lot better, you'll fight disease better. There's just so many positive things about what we do.
Well, a lot of people buy an RV for the simple reason that they want to cook their own meals because it is healthier, it's a little less expensive, they can cook them the way they want to. And so you guys provide the cookware to make that happen, but you're also serving up a business opportunity. So people go to the shows, they demonstrate the cookware. Is that what it is? And then they earn a little bit of commission if people buy it? Is that how it works?
And it's not just between you and me and the fence post. It's not a little bit of commission.
Okay.
This job pays very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not making 6 figures within your second year, then this is not really the job for you. I take 14 weeks vacation a year.
Wow.
And I take the summer off because I want to spend when my kids were in regular school, the bricks and mortar school, I took the whole summer off. Now we kind of spread it out a little bit because they're with me. My wife's a nurse case manager, so she does everything she does case reviews for a hospital down in Florida.
Ah.
So that's what she does, and it's all done online. And my kids are in Florida virtual school, and it's not homeschooling. I'm not smart enough to be a homeschooler, okay? And I don't have the patience for it either. So everything's done online. They have live classes. And I walk into that RV, and I'm not really computer savvy. It's not really my thing. But I walk into the RV, and there's my 3 girls, my wife and my 2 daughters there, and they all have their headsets on, and they've got their monitors, and I can see they're talking to people, and there's other talking faces on the screens. And I feel like I'm walking into Nassau, and there should be a rocket blasting off someplace. But it works. It works. And the beauty of virtual school and my wife's the same way with her work. She can work when she wants to work. So she's got a very, a wonderfully ideal situation. So my kids, I do a lot of, if I'm doing a festival, and we do We do military bases. We do campgrounds, obviously. We do a lot of RV events. I do the big RV show down in Tampa every year. That's been a show that I've done for several years now. We do balloon festivals. Anywhere that people gather to have fun and want to learn things. That's where we're at. I do motorcycle shows. It's crazy, We can fit in anywhere, but I work, primarily a couple days on the weekend, and then my kids work on the weekend, so they're doing their live classes on the weekend, and then during the week we explore. And we've been to 49 states. It's very hard to get the RV over to Hawaii.
It's hard. That's the only one I haven't been to either.
But we've been up to Alaska. We've been all through the states, and we truly love this lifestyle. And it was supposed to be a year. That was the whole thing. When we started out, we're going to do this for a year, and we rented out our house, and we got on the road. And I'm not going to say any names here. I don't want to say any brands, but we had a 35-foot Super C. A C class, right, before when we started out. And my wife did her research, and she found out that a lot of the national parks, they cut you off at 35 feet. So we thought, we don't want to be limited. We want to get in all these national parks. And we'd never been anywhere. We'd never camped anywhere. So we bought this 35-foot Super C, and it had these electric motors, and it had one large slide that came out the side. And this thing broke down. Oh, my gosh. Within the first week, we're having trouble with this slide. And within the first 3 months, we had 6 or 7 of those mobile units come out, and things were just breaking on this thing. And we were having to manually push this thing in, and it was just awful. And I remember this one RV mechanic goes, "You remember that movie RV?" And he says, "That's you guys." And I said, "That's not us. We bought a brand new RV because of that." Right? And I know you're not supposed to buy a brand new RV, but we made the same mistake twice. We were heading back to Florida. This is the first 6 months in. And this RV, the toilet broke, and we had raw sewage all over the.
That doesn't go well with girls.
No, it's not good. And we had these RV mechanics though, but they couldn't fix it. And so for almost a month, I was getting up at 2 a.m. to walk my 8-year-old daughter then to the bathroom, right? And this is hard when you're on the road. So we're heading back to Florida. This RV is basically in pieces. The sliding doors inside were all coming apart. We were laying them on the back bed while we traveled, and I had them outside for most of the time. And it was just a nightmare, but it was the best 6 months of our entire life. So we get back to Florida, and we took it to the dealership that we bought it from, and we had a whole list of things that needed to be fixed on it. And you know how efficient these RV places are. They fix things really fast, don't they? Just overnight. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that these things take time. So we left it there for 3 weeks, and I had a schedule to get onto, and we go back 2.5 weeks later, figuring it would be done. We walk in there, and our RV is in pieces. It's in pieces. And I said, "I've got to leave in 4 days. I've got this show and this show and this show." And they said, "Well, that ain't happening." And they must have saw me coming. They said, "Well, how about you get another RV?" And so we did the same mistake twice. We walked around that parking lot, and we wound up getting a 40-foot Fleetwood Discovery. And it was the best investment that we've ever made. We love this rig. It's perfect for us. And we got back out on the road again. But before we were heading out on the road, and I want to back up my story a little bit, and I'm going to get a little bit depressing here just for a second. As we were driving back to Florida, my wife felt she had a mass, something in her stomach. And she couldn't have been pregnant. She said, "I'm not pregnant because our kids are 3 feet from us." Okay.
Right, yeah.
We're best friends with no benefits now. And that's fine. That's fine. So, but she's a nurse, and she said, "I'm going to go to get an ultrasound done." And I went with her for the ultrasound. And it was her hospital. She knew the lady that was doing the ultrasound, and they were joking around during the ultrasound. Then all of a sudden, the technician got real quiet. And my wife said, "What's going on? Is my ovary the size of a grapefruit?" And she goes, "Actually, it's larger than a grapefruit."
Wow.
And she goes, "You need to see somebody right now." So they took her upstairs. They saw one of the doctors there. And this was a small hospital in Central Florida, about half an hour north of Orlando. So that next day, we headed down to Florida Hospital South, which is the big hospital. It's the cancer center and all this stuff. And they did some tests on her, and they got her into surgery the very next day. And she was 39 years old at the time. She was young. There's no history of any ovarian cancer in her family. They said she didn't have the markers for it. She wasn't a candidate for it. This is some benign thing that's happening, and she's going to be fine. So the doctor and I, we were joking with Stephanie, my wife, as she went into surgery, and then I was the only one there because we thought this wasn't going to be anything, right?
Right.
So after the surgery came out, the doctor came out and met me in the waiting room, and I saw this big, sad expression on her face, and she said, "It is cancer. It's a very rare form of ovarian cancer called clear cell ovarian cancer. And this type of cancer only really affects Asian women. It's really crazy that my wife got this. My wife is tall and blonde. She's 5'10" and blonde. She doesn't fit the mold. She's Dutch. I remember going in to see my wife as she was coming out of the anesthetic, and she was in a lot of pain. She didn't think it was going to be this extensive. They gave her a full hysterectomy. And she said, everything's okay, right? And I said, "Sweetheart, no, you got cancer." All right? And you could see this, her face just dropped. And I said, this happened to be the day, Greg, that we were picking up our brand new RV. And I said, "Well, I'm going to go cancel this deal, and we're going to take care of you." And she goes, "No, we're not canceling that deal. We're going to continue on, no matter what happens with this.
Aw.
We're going to continue on." And this ovarian cancer, if it comes back, there's a 5% chance of survival. So we knew we were going to have to do chemo on the road. So we went ahead, we got the RV, and the Super Show in Tampa was the big RV show that I did next. And so my wife was recovering at that show in the RV, and then we headed out west. She lost all her hair, and
Right.
and cancer is a horrible disease, but chemotherapy, we've all been touched by cancer. It is a horrible, horrible drug, and what she went through was just awful. But she's a trooper. She got through it, and she's now cancer-free. But
Oh,
we
great.
continued on. So we hit that 1 year mark, and we said to the kids, "Well, this is it. 1 year. We're going to head back, and we're going to resume our life." And they said, and they wanted to stay, but they were negotiating a little bit. So they said, "Hey, we'll keep going if you get us a dog." So we got a little Morkie, and got a little puppy, and we continued on. And then at the 2.5 year mark, our renters decided they want to move out and get their own home. That's fine. So we go home, and this house was our forever home. 4,000 or 5,000 square feet, 5 bathrooms. We had more bathrooms than people. We had just finished this $150,000 backyard resort area. We had a big pool, a hot tub, a swim-up bar, a sunken kitchen, this big fireplace. It was just amazing. And we walked and it's funny too, because we rented the house furnished. So, but while we were cleaning it, and it wasn't much of a cleanup job, we could have moved home for a while. And we stayed in the campground in our RV because we felt more comfortable there. But we walked the kids through this huge house, and we're looking at this big house, and we go, "How about we move back? We've had enough. This is fine." And the kids goes, "It doesn't move. This is it. We don't want this. We want to keep going." Our children, we continued on. We sold the house. We went from a 10 by 30 storage unit to a 10 by 10 storage unit, which is half full. It's just got pictures in it. We gave everything else away. And, it was painful at the time because we gave away a lot of good stuff. Our family and friends came over and picked over everything, and then Habitat for Humanity came out and took the rest of it. But now that it's gone, it's such a freeing experience.
It is.
It really is. And my kids aren't about stuff anymore.
Right.
We are about experiences. We've whitewater rafted through the Grand Canyon. They've seen 6 Broadway plays. We do a week in New York every year. We've been to all the national parks. We just spent 6 weeks out in the Utah, Colorado, Nevada area this past summer, and we just. And I'm not selling you on this. You're sitting here
Right.
because you love this lifestyle, but we truly love it. And Kitchen Craft is the vehicle that gets us there, that allows me to do this and to pay for this. And the money is great. You set up your own schedules, Greg. Wherever you want to go, you're assigned a person in-house that's called an ISD. And that stands for, it's an acronym for Internal Sales Director. And she's your best friend. She will work with you to set up where you want to go. And I meet so many work campers at these campgrounds, and they're there because they get a free campsite. This will pay you, opening, the first year, if you're not making $60,000 to $80,000 in that year, then there's something not right.
Wow.
There's $1,000 a day is a very average paycheck for what we do. Because the cookware is expensive, but you get what you pay for. It's a lifetime product. You buy it once, you pass it on through the generations. I get people coming to my shows that have had our product, Greg, for 60, 70, even 80 years. And they got it from their mother. So they've never bought a piece of cookware. And they're going to pass it on to their kids. And so, the least expensive set that we have is almost $2,000. But when you spread it out, right, that is pretty cheap.
Does the company provide coaching, or is it just sending you the equipment and your schedule? Is that what the independent service directors do or sales directors do? Do they just send you to this particular show and let you try and figure it out on your own, or do they provide some kind of training?
Greg, that is an awesome question. My title in this company is company coach, and we train our people like fighter pilots. We really, really do.
Top Gun.
We've got the most extensive training program in the industry. The process that you'll go through, reach out to us. The website that you want to go take a look at is called cookforlife.com. COOKFORLIFE.com. Check that out. There's a video on there. It's about a 10-minute video with me talking about the process and how the company works. And then after that, you can apply. And then once you apply, and we have a special place in our hearts for RVers. Okay, so they move to the top of the heap. Okay, and I've had a very good response at this show as well too. But then once you apply, we'll reach out to you, and then we'll start the process. And then if you are selected to move ahead, we have two ways of training. Our corporate, the cookware is made in West Bend, Wisconsin. That's where our factory is. But we have a wonderful facility. Our corporate facility is down in a little town called Mount Dora, Florida. And that's where my wife is from, and that's where I've lived for the last 20 years. It's been voted one of the pretty small towns in the country. And it's just a beautiful little town. And the owner of the company ran out of gas there about 37 years ago. And he decided he didn't like the winters up north. And so he set up camp down there, and that's where we are. So we'll either fly you down to Florida, and we'll do the training there. And the training's not long, and we pay for everything for you. The training's not long. You spend a lot of time learning the script beforehand, and the script is designed to overcome any objection, and it's designed to sell cookware for you. So if you're comfortable talking to people, if you love people, you come down to Florida. We'll get you, working away in our little training facility there, and then we supply everything for you. All the the booth. Like I said before, you get the booth, your cookware, you get all the materials that you need to be successful, and then we stay in touch. I do a thing called the rookie webinars every week, and all the rookies get online. But you're going to be assigned a manager in the field, and that's going to be your go-to person for everything. And we do a thing called OICs. And it's not an acronym for anything, but it's like, oh, I see. That's why you do that. Right? So what you do is you videotape your presentation, and we upload it, and then we have myself and the owner of the company is still very, very active in everything about our reps. And then what we do is we all get online with that rep, and we watch your video. And we give you some very constructive criticism how we can keep tweaking this. And I've been at this 9 years now. I've been with the company 9 years, and I'm still tweaking mine, right? But it goes a lot further than that. This company is truly a family, and I love the other reps. I love the family itself. It's a veteran-run company. The owner company is a Vietnam vet, and we're the only cookware company in the world that's allowed to carry American military insignia on our hardware, which is pretty cool, right?
That is neat.
Yeah, but we have an annual conference every year that's located on the continental U.S. This year, it happens in December, the first week in December every year. This year, it's going to be in New Orleans. But we have them all over the place, and it's a gathering of all the reps in the country. We get together, we exchange ideas, and we have fun. Oh my gosh, we go out and we have a good time. This is just a blast. These people are wonderful. But the really cool thing is, Greg, we do an annual incentive trip. So you've got to make a certain threshold in your sales, and it's very attainable. Since I've been with the company, I've been on 9 of these trips. And this year we're going to Japan.
Oh.
I've been to Switzerland. I've been to France. We've been to Costa Rica, Panama. We did a Hawaiian cruise. These are not little trips. These are very, very exciting trips. And the owner of the company, David Hurley, is a prolific traveler, and he loves to share. So this trip to Japan this year is going to be the experience of a lifetime. And the funny thing is, after we get back from Japan, because my daughter's 17 and she's going off to university next year, and I told you earlier, we're always joking about what we're going to do with her bunk. I'm going to turn it into a man cave, and we've got a craft room that's going to happen in that bunk, so I have all this new space. But 3 weeks later, she wants us to go on this Baltic cruise. So we're getting on a ship over in Europe. We're going to be in Denmark, Sweden, Finland. We're winding up in Russia. There's a whole bunch of places in between that I can't remember, but it's a 2-week trip that we're doing for her. And we can afford to do this because, the big piece of the puzzle with the RV, with Workampers is making that financial piece work, and it works for us. You're not going to be, any experiences that you want to have, you're going to have the resources to do it. If you want to do something special while you're at a certain location, if you want to take that balloon ride, if you want to take that rafting trip, or whatever you want to do, guys, you're going to have the resources to do it, and that's what I love about this job. That it pays really well, and then it's fun.
And so you get to set your own hours. You pretty much get to dictate where you want to go.
Yep.
Working with the people so you don't have a bunch of reps on top of each other in the same communities and things like that. So you can decide, I'd like to spend the winter down here in New Mexico. I'd like to go up into the Pacific Northwest during the summer, that type of thing. You'll be able to work that deal out.
Yeah, exactly. And Greg, if you've got family members, say you've got family members on the other side of the country, you can say, listen, I'm down here in Santa Fe, but I've got family members over in Chicago, right? I want to visit them, and I want to write off the gas to get over there, right? Mm-hmm. So they'll set up a show for you outside of Chicago. So everything you now do is a write-off, right? So in the RV world, that's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So, but yeah, we can, wherever you've got family, go and visit them, do a show there, right?
If people wanted more information about this opportunity, how could they get it?
Well, you know what? You can. Do you want me to give my phone number? Because they can call me directly too.
If you want it out in the public for everybody.
Oh, sure, definitely. Yeah. Everybody, grab a pen. My number, my direct number is 352-552-8881. 352-552-8881. If you want to call me directly for more information, that website, cookforlife.com. That's our recruiting site. You can check that out as well too. But folks, I do urge you to call me directly. So I can, if you have any questions, you've got me to talk to. And then from there, I'll make sure that you get a nice clear path to the decision makers back at the office. And then once we get on board, you're going to meet the owner of the company very, very soon. He's got a little plane, and he flies around the country. He was also a big-time RVer for a long time as well, too. And his son, Brian, still has a nice Class C, and he runs the factory. So we've got we have a lot of RVers in our company. And they come from all walks of life, and they have different rigs. We've got a whole bunch of folks that have fifth classes. We got A classes like me. We got folks that are a lot of tow behind people that make it work that way. The booth itself is very we want to make sure that it's small, so it goes down into next to nothing, and you can make it work. You can make the space work, and I know that's a big deal with the RVers.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Tim. I really appreciated it. I wish people would give you guys a call and work out a deal. It sounds like a wonderful opportunity for somebody who might not be looking for a traditional work camping opportunity, want to be in a business of their own.
Yeah. So, you're in the business for yourself, but not by yourself. That's the beauty of what we do. And Greg, thank you for your time today too. I appreciate you letting me on here today.
I enjoyed talking to Tim Martin and learning more about KitchenCraft, its products, and how work campers can make money on the road by demonstrating the cookware at various events. I bumped into KitchenCraft at several RV shows over the years, and the demonstrations always seem to generate a crowd, so I can see why Tim is very successful at what he does. As a coach, he's also involved in training other representatives. The company does offer 2 days of training at its facility in Florida, where people can become more acquainted with KitchenCraft, its products, and processes. The firm helps representatives tweak their presentations to ensure they're able to sell more and thus make more by selling the cookware. It sounds like there are a number of other nice perks for representatives too, like trips. But it's an opportunity where people get to set their own hours and where they get to work, and there are some pretty nice tax advantages that come along with it as well. For more information, visit www.cookforlife.com. Whether it is running a business from your RV or working a short-term jobs for a variety of employers, Workamper News can give you information to help plan a course to live your own dream and get you on the road faster than you thought possible. For more information about opportunities to live, work, and play in your RV, visit www.workampernews.com. This episode is sponsored by the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas. The Academy's 1-week live training or home study course will teach you everything you need to know to fix about 80% of the problems people experience with their RVs. You can also sign up for additional training to become an RV inspector, campground technician, or to provide mobile RV service. For more information, visit www.nrvta.com. That's all we have for today's show. Next time, I'll interview a recently retired couple who is just starting out as work campers. Thanks for listening to The Workamper Show.